On Wednesday, Arizona is scheduled to execute an inmate for the first time in over 2 years. Aaron Gunches will be put to death for murder and kidnapping.
A woman is traveling across the country to witness the execution. She is the sister of the man who was killed. Now, 12 News journalist Troy Hayden had a chance to talk to her, and I'm sure this is all very emotional.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense conversation, for sure. Aaron Gunches is scheduled to die in the Arizona execution chamber at 10 on Wednesday morning. He kidnapped and killed a man named Ted Price. Ted was a father with 2 children. He was a big brother to 3 sisters. Here's one of them here. The family he left behind has been dealing with loss, trials, and now likely the final outcome for 23 years.
You know, I have sympathy for all of the families that have to go through this, because the initial murder of your loved one is just the beginning.
Karen Price knows that firsthand. Her brother Ted was killed back in 2002 by Aaron Gunches, who's scheduled to be executed for the crime on Wednesday morning. Ted was Karen's big brother.
He was a kind person. You know, he was always sympathetic to people who had less than him. You know, not every person has those qualities, but he did.
Karen says Ted was living out of state, but came back to Arizona to find his ex-wife, named Kat, hooked on meth and living in squalor with her 2 children who he cared about.
Ted threatened to turn Kat into CPS for what was going on. And Kat called the drug dealer, Aaron Gunches, that was her drug dealer, and said, you know, my ex is here. He's making noise about turning him into CPS. That cannot happen. You need to come take care of this. So his solution was take Ted out into the desert and kill him.
Kat was never put on trial for the murder. Gunches was found guilty, given the death penalty. 23 years after she lost her big brother, Karen, who lives on the East Coast, says she needs to be here when Gunches is executed.
And I feel like I have to see this through. I have to be there for Ted, representing the family for this last action.
Anti-death penalty forces across the country have been successful in delaying executions with different strategies, like questioning the drug protocol used and calling lethal injection procedures cruel and unusual punishment.
What do you say to people who are anti-death penalty?
So I've said this before, walk a mile in my shoes and then let's have a conversation about it. Because you don't know what it feels like to have a family member murdered until it happens to you.
I texted with Karen today. She just welcomed a brand new grandchild into the world over the weekend, so it was a very happy weekend for her. She says it does look like she's going to be able to make it out here to Arizona from the East Coast to witness this. I've also been chosen as a media witness to this execution, so we'll have full coverage of what happens before and after here on 12 News tomorrow and Wednesday. And my entire conversation with Karen Price is available to watch right now on 12 Plus. It's an interesting conversation, so go to the Troy Hayden Reports section if you're interested. Mark Caribe, back to you.
Yeah, definitely a powerful interview from her. All right, Troy, thank you.